Hello and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. This is episode 20 of this career we've been working on together in YouTube. And we have been working specifically lately on a mission on Minmus where we are trying to grab all of the science that we can. Now, we don't have all of the experiments available that we'll eventually have, but my hope is that, well, we're going to visit Minmus so much because it's kind of key to going everywhere else, at least the way we're going to do it in these episodes, that I'm not too concerned we're going to be getting more and more science from this place. So I just want to get as much as I can with what I have. Oh, I haven't even used this. I don't even know if this works. Aim camera. I don't even know what to do with this. Guess you have to point it at something. I have no idea. All right, never mind. I thought it was like a regular science experiment. But at any rate, we last did science here, and I don't think we ever picked it up. Well, we didn't reset this stuff down here, so I guess we never picked it up. And so we will go ahead and do that. Also restore all of this. Could have sworn I did this, but we've been to a lot of places doing pretty much the same thing back and forth, so go ahead and take that, and we will board. Alright, so we still need to hit the lesser flats, we need to hit the poles, and we need to hit the Highlands. So I think these are the flats that we're looking for. This one right here, this weird little dragon-shaped thing. I guess that's a dragon. I don't know. You do your Rorschach, I'll do mine. So what we're going to do is we're going to launch up here and just go 90 degrees and see if we interact with it. So away we go. Where's 90? Okay. I'm not giving it too much thrust. This is Minmus, so it doesn't really take a whole lot. We are going halfway around the planet, though, or the moon, so we'll see how. Did maybe a little more thrust. I did it again. It keeps wanting to do ease of access every time I give thrust to this ship. I do not understand why it wants to sticky key me. Like I said, I have to turn that stuff off. This is making me insane. Let's see, where are we at? Okay. That's certainly high enough. We're going to go laterally for a little bit. We have so much fuel that I feel comfortable in overdoing it a little bit. That's so high of an orbit that it's actually higher than the orbit we set for the others, so I'm actually going to burn that down a little bit by... That still may not have helped too much, but it gets us farther in the direction that I'm trying to get us, so... And we're going to need to burn up. No, we're not. We'll do that later. It's a rough orbit, but we're clear of everything, and I think that's fine. And that's 5 seconds of burn. I just can't say that that's too bad of a deal. So we're going to go ahead and do that in 4 minutes. Warp to next maneuver. And we're just going to accelerate the time just a tad bit to get us down to 2 or 3 seconds. And away we go. Not exactly on target, but I'm not too concerned. Okay. So, it's a little silly, but what we're going to do here is even out that orbit again. The last time when we traveled to the other flats, we had to go slightly, you know, in an inclination. So we're going to reverse that right now so we can get this other flat. And then we'll just have highlands and poles. So we'll fast forward to through this, because there's no reason to wait 11 minutes in real time when we don't have to. There it is, and that should be good enough to get us here. You know what, I may just turn that up just a little more to there. And we'll wait, warp to there, and we'll see where we need to go. Now, I want to be over those flats before I start to burn. I'm going a little fast. Lesser flats, that's exactly what we wanted. So, let's move back to our retrograde. And we're going to leave it right there. We're going to just ultimately, we're just going to let gravity pull it down. But going to bleed off all of this that we can. That was a little weird. That's okay. That's probably about right. It's about right. It's not perfect. Maybe or we did it just a smidge. But we can fix that. There we go. Okay, now we just need to land this sucker. Once again, this is going to be the same. We have the lights still on, I believe. Yes, we do. How much power do we have? Probably way more than we need. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just let this thing fall for a little bit. It's still pretty far up. Alright, I'm going to give it some gas. We've got plenty of time to slow down. So I'm going to worry a little more about it when we're sub 1,000 meters. But, or for that matter here on this particular case, as I was mentioning earlier. It's nice when the big numbers are... When the big numbers are what you need to look at rather than this little tiny thing over here. Fall a little faster. We're still... I shouldn't have gassed it up so soon. I should have really waited to the 1,000 meters, like I said. I just become a nervous Nelly when it comes to land sometimes. And it's not that landing on Minmus is all that hard. I mean, we've done it several times already. But getting here the first time was tough. And, I guess I remember my first landings all too well, just to have a little bit of nostalgic terror. We still don't have any light on the ground. I thought that happened a lot higher up than this, but I guess not. And give it a little bit more gas. We're getting pretty close now. Alright, closer to 400. And as soon as we get below 200, 150, someplace in that neighborhood, I'll probably go ahead and start giving it some gas again. There we go. There we go. And another safe touchdown. We're going to go ahead and hit the magic 0 key that I have set up to automatically do all these experiments. So we're going to keep all of these. That is just a ton of science. Just beautiful. Once again, we're going to have Bob come out. He's going to take all of this wonderful data to clear out the crew report. He is going to do an EVA report while he's out here. He's going to keep that experiment. He's going to take a surface sample and keep that experiment. That's a lot more science. He'll come running down the ladder here. We'll plant yet another flag. Turn his little helmet on. Plant flag. We will say Minmus Science. And we'll grab this. And then we'll take care of all these experiments. We'll collect the data and restore. Take the data. Take the data, collect data, and restore. And I think we took everything out of here already, so I'm just going to board. That is just a lot of science. All right, so we need to go to the polar regions. And I'm pretty sure that there's some Highlands around the poles. I don't really recall entirely. So let's go ahead and we're just going to go north, and we're going to go into orbit, and Highlands and poles is what we're looking for. Okay, we're up in the air. My beautiful Minmus lander. All right. There's a little more gas. If we're going to the Highlands, we're going to need the apoapsis to be fairly high. Especially if it's over the flats. So that's probably high enough for it to be relative to that. I'm just going to give it some more lateral. Maybe not quite that much. But we do need to get, we know we're heading towards the poles. So that's a little high, but we're fine. Okay. We're going to watch this. This is going to be lesser flats for some time. So that's as fast as it's going to let me go for a little bit. Lowlands, 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 lowlands. All right, we need to slow that down because we need to give it some more juice. That's ridiculously high, but once again, I'm not too worried about it. We have so much fuel. Midlands, we've already got. Poles. All right. I'm going to let that go to about here, I think, because I think it'll be a little bit better. So we're just going to flip around. Just looks so much flatter there. I'm crazy. It looks flat all over there. All right. We will go ahead and take that off. That's silly. And we'll wait until that's virtually nothing. That's almost perfect. So we're falling a lot longer this time because I just really kind of have blown that arc, but that's okay. 7,000 more. Let's wait till it's at least 5,000 before we start carrying. All right. With Minmus, it's not as big of a deal. If we went to Moho, this lander would work, but there would not be so much wiggle room. And so, yeah, I just overdo the thrust on this sometimes when it just seems like it's getting too close, but it really isn't. I mean, we've got, you know, over 1,000, over 1,500 meters to drop. And, we're just not doing it all that quickly. So yeah, this is not the most efficient way to do this landing, but again, we really don't need to be all that efficient. We've got plenty of fuel. And we're still over 500 meters away. Go ahead and let that increase in speed again. Take that back. And we're below. Kick that up a little bit. Here we go. Fantastic. Well, once again, we're going to take the science out of this. Take all of that. Bob's going to come out of the capsule again. Take everything we've got to clear. Make sure that he's got the crew report cleared. Whoops. Oh, we need to also take a surface sample and do an EVA report. Come down and grab all this science. Take. Collect. Restore. Did that take? Yes, it did. Collect, restore. We'll come down here, leave a flag. And then we just have to look for the Highlands. Now, the good news is we do that from a polar orbit. We're going to eventually find the Highlands. I don't know how fast that's going to be, so we may have a little fast forwarding going on in this game after this, but that's probably okay. All right. Whoops. Minmus Science. All right. Get him back to here. I think this is pretty amazing. I mean, I love the fact that you know, we're able to do all of this in one mission. And this is the first time we've ever visited here. So, kind of goes to the strategy. I mean, I'm kind of proud of that. All right, what looks like it's Highlands? Let's see if we can maybe get a notion of that. All right, if I was going to say anything was Highlands from here, I would think it was something from this direction, that thing. But I don't know. We're just going to make a wild guess. I don't even know what direction that is, so that's kind of pointless. Yeah, we're just gonna pick a direction at random and go with it. I think I'm going to stick with north because north was where we were headed. I mean, that looks like it's gaining an altitude. So we might get lucky, and it's that it's that the high ground is right ahead of us. And 7, yeah, that's good enough. All right, I'm just trying to kind of circularize the orbit just a little bit. And we'll speed this up and start that burn unless for some amazing reason we end up being over the Highlands before that time. And that does not look like it's going to happen, so... Yeah, it's not exactly what I wanted, but it's fine. Alright, so we're just going to orbit until we find the Highlands, and then we're just going to land. If there's a better way to deal with this, there probably is a map someplace online that somebody's made. I think that said Midlands. I didn't ever see Highlands. Midlands, slope, slowlands, slope, slowlands, poles. As Minmus turns, like I said, we are eventually going to get all of this. So, just a little bit of patience. Alright, this is going to probably take a little bit, so I'm going to quit talking and we'll just fast forward through this until we get to the Highlands. There we are at the Highlands. We are going to quickly burn And we're back to the Highlands, so we're going to have to travel this way just a little bit. But that's okay. How far are we up? We're up pretty high, so... So I'm thinking that it shouldn't be too hard to get back to these. I don't know exactly where it was that we hit them and I stopped them, and then we just went to Midlands right after that. So they're clearly in this direction. So we should hit them. Ah, there we are. Already at the Highlands. All right. Well, I burned too much, but that's okay. What I'm trying to do is this and to look down. It looks like the Highlands are going to be on a hill, which is going to kind of be a bummer from the looks of things. I can't really tell. It's really hard to see that, but obviously it's going down there. So let's do what we can do, and I think we'll be fine, other than the fact that it's in the dark and it's on a slope, and yeah, what the heck. It's close to the top. And there you go. Yeah, that's pretty slopey looking to me, but we'll find out. We have 4,400 to drop, and we're going to go ahead and let that get down below 3 at least before we care it that it's above 50 here. There we go. And I'm trying not to be so quick to eliminate all this speed, because again, there's no reason to slow this down. Well, I mean, this far above the ground, obviously. We want it to be slow enough to land, clearly. All right. Now we probably need to care that it's above 20. And we're probably good now to let that just slowly bleed off, maybe even gain a little bit. We have over 500 meters. There's the light. So we will go ahead and once again start decelerating. There we go. And we have very little to go here. And there we are. Landed again. So, as usual, we are going to collect tons of science. And we're going to go ahead and have the scientist once again EVA out. He's on this side. He'll grab all of this data. He will come down here. He will take that data. He will take that data. He will collect that data and restore it. He will collect that data and he will restore that. This is awesome. All right. One last thing he needs to do, of course, is to come down here and plant the flag, because everybody knows that we did science on the Highlands. A little further out than that. Plant flag. Minmus Science. All right. We will go ahead and take him and put him back in the ship. So we have collected all of the science that we are currently able to gather. We've collected every bit of it from the surface of Minmus. That just is amazing to me because, again, this is the first time we visited this place. So what we need to do next is we will need to go back up, get a high orbit version of this, reconnect to the other spacecraft, transfer all the data to the return vehicle, and go home. I do believe that will be the next video. So I want to thank you for watching this. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Please comment. Tell me what you think about this whole series. I'd really like to hear from you. More feedback, the better I can do. At any rate, again, thank you. Have a great day. Be safe.